Today we're going to look at market research. This has to do with companies collecting, analysing information to be able to help, maybe make a decision. Maybe it's going to help inform a strategy. So generally speaking, we think of market research as either you're thinking about looking at what's happening currently in the market, maybe you're trying to look into the future and predict what's going to happen, or you're going to look in the past and say, well, why did something happen? Now, we're going to look to start off with primary research, whereby you're trying to collect original data. So a company may do this themselves, or they might get a specialist market research company to help them. All right. So for example, we're now making this late May 2018. This movie, Solo, a Star Wars story, has performed very moderately. Most Disney films are great successes. Quite often they do a lot better than expected. But this particular movie has not done well. So undoubtedly they will want to do lots and lots of research. Some of the methods we'll look at may well be very relevant to trying to answer this question. Others may not be so relevant. This would be very relevant, having a focus group interview, whereby, say, they bring together lots and lots of Star Wars fans, ask them, well, what were your opinions on the movie? Why did you attend the movie? Why didn't you attend the movie? What was good, bad, etc., etc. Obviously, you need a very, very skilled researcher or the person in charge of the focus group to be able to direct the group, to be able to make sure that you don't get groupthink, maybe whereby somebody who likes to talk takes over the group, and other people, quieter people, just tend to nod their heads and agree with it. Observation may not be so relevant for this, but nevertheless, supermarkets, fashion stores like Zara may be interested in seeing which displays are most popular, which displays are least popular. As a result of that, then what they would have to try and do would be to hold follow-up interviews to find out why the displays are liked or not liked. Because obviously here, if you're just observing people and not following up, it's maybe a little bit of a waste of time. Then we have surveys and interviews, which for me, I do tend to be a little bit confused about this, because a survey for me is, sometimes I just think it is an interview, but strictly speaking, surveys could be done online or postal, or we could have a consumer panel. So I get an email roughly once a month from Starbucks, because I have a loyalty card and I go to Starbucks every day, and I get an email asking me to fill in a short survey about what I liked and disliked about a recent visit. And I tend to fill it in, because I get free points towards a free drink, and I like free drinks. But many other people would probably just delete it. Consumer panel, that's where people record their viewing habits, what they spend their money on, how they use their time. Obviously people lie about that sort of stuff. An interview, two-way process, maybe face-to-face or on the telephone. Obviously face-to-face, to find 100 people and talk to them for 10 minutes each and then work out what they've been saying. That can take a lot of time and is therefore quite expensive. But you're able to look at things like body language, people's tone of voice, eye contact when they're answering questions. You can ask them lots of follow-up questions. You can move away from the script of questions which you have. Telephone, young people don't have the normal landline telephone. So particularly if people are doing research into how, say, someone's going to vote, say, in the 2020 election in America, it becomes more difficult for the researchers to get in touch with young people because they don't have the landline telephone. All right, so they then have to think, how can we get in touch with young people? Because they use smartphones. Quite often people don't like strangers calling up and asking them personal questions. And so if you're going to use telephone, yes, it's inexpensive. People don't like it, so you've got to try and keep the questions short. You've probably got to give people closed questions, because otherwise they're just going to hang up. Then secondary research. There's information which is already out there. It could be in the form of government census, annual reports, newspaper articles, web surveys, all that type of information. You can buy market analysis information. You know, if I want to find out about wine in China, one of my students did her extended essay about wine in China. She could have spent thousands and thousands of dollars buying a market analysis report. She didn't, but she could have done. All right, and that's research already done for you, but it may not meet your specific needs. This is the headline I've taken from Box Office Mojo on Monday morning. So solo isn't flying so high, delivering soft Memorial Day weekend debut. And then it gives 3 reasons why the movie maybe underperformed. But undoubtedly, as I said earlier, Disney would probably want to do more in-depth research to find out why it underperformed. Then, the ethics of market research. Big companies like Google, Facebook, Apple, what have you, people are concerned about the amount of data they hold about us and then what happens with that data. People don't like receiving cold telephone calls. Generally, when I get a cold telephone call, I just hang up. Okay, I don't like it. Because quite often people are asking very, very personal questions and asking for details of the passport or maybe your bank account. And maybe, it isn't, maybe they're just crooks. And again, if you're walking past Zara, for example, and you you've got a loyalty card for Zara, and all of a sudden you're getting to your smartphone, beep, 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 10% off the next 15 minutes if you go in and shop, you may think that's a little bit sort of scary. Okay, and then finally, qualitative versus quantitative research. Well, the qualitative research, that's the use of lots and lots of open questions. Obviously, a difficulty there is trying to analyze the information. It takes longer to do that. Quantitative research, that's using closed questions, yes, no. But it maybe doesn't give you great details. Obviously, what you'll find is you use a variety or a mixture of quantitative and qualitative questions to try and find out what they want. And that's all for today.